And in some positive news, Hamas has released 2 American hostages in response to Qatari mediation efforts. These are the people that were abducted along with over 200 others during the October 7th attack on Israel. The first hostages, who are an American mother and daughter duo, 59-year-old Judith Ranan and a 17-year-old daughter, Natalie, were visiting the kibbutz as a part of a trip to Israel to celebrate the Jewish holidays. Well, Natalie's father said that he is overjoyed on the news of their return.
I spoke with my daughter earlier today. She sounds very good. She looks very good. She was very happy, and she's waiting to come home. Her mother has a little scratch on her hand, but she told me it's nothing. She's okay. I spoke earlier with President Biden. I thank him for his concern, for his helping with the release of them. And he was very, very nice. I spoke with Governor Pritzker, and he was nice, and I thank him very much for his effort.
U.S. President Joe Biden has spoken with the 2 American hostages released by Hamas earlier today. This according to the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, which releases a photograph of the mother and daughter holding a phone on the social media platform X on Saturday. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that a team from the U.S. Embassy in Israel will shortly see the 2 Americans who were freed by Hamas. He added that there are still 10 Americans who remain unaccounted for after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th.
About an hour ago, 2 American citizens held by Hamas since October 7th were released. These 2 Americans are now safely in the hands of Israeli authorities in Israel. We expect a team from the U.S. Embassy to see them very shortly. Over the coming hours, they'll receive any support and assistance that they need. And of course, we're very anxious to be able to reunite them with their loved ones. We welcome their release. We share in the relief that their families, friends, and loved ones are feeling. But there are still 10 additional Americans who remain unaccounted for in this conflict.
And Israel says that the remaining hostages are being held somewhere inside Gaza, but the exact whereabouts within the enclave are unknown, making their rescue more complicated. The officials say that many could be held in the warren of tunnels under Gaza that Israel troops call the Gaza Metro. Well, according to the reports, an estimated 200 people, including 30 teenagers and children, along with 20 people over the age of 60, are being held hostage at the moment. Hamas says it has 200 hostages and that 50 more are held by other armed groups in the enclave. Hamas earlier said that 20 hostages have been killed by Israeli airstrikes but did not give any further details. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has appointed a retired general as Israel's coordinator on hostages and missing persons. The Qatari mediators have said that they have tried to negotiate freedom for Israeli women and children seized by Hamas in return for the release of 36 Palestinian women and children from Israel's prisons. That's the deal that Qatar has put on the table. But Israel has bombed Gaza Strip ever since the October 7th attack. A total siege of the Gaza Strip is also being executed by Israeli forces, which has blocked all supplies, including essentials, for over 2 million Gazans. Israel has earlier said that the blockade on Gaza will continue until all hostages are released. So far, there has been no indication other than the latest release of the American hostages that a deal might be at hand. Turkey is also talking with Hamas to secure the release of foreigners, civilians, and also children. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden has also said that his administration is working like hell to find American hostages held by Hamas. The U.S. has sent a small team of special operations forces to Israel to help with intelligence and planning for any eventual operations to rescue the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza.